Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there, welcome back.
Welcome back, guys. We have so much to share with you. We have basically gotten so much information from the guides. A lot of channeling has come through that we're trying to put it together in smaller segments. We did a video over on Patreon that was talking about, again, the plague upon the land, the cure, and all that. And a deeper look inside all that's going on with the timing of the war that's before us. Do you guys remember these? These were the pictures that were up in the Denver airport. These murals that were so just disconcerting. I mean, just why? Why would you do these things? You know, why would you make these things for people to be exposed to? Now, this one's been especially haunting as you see all these people lamenting what looks like the loss of children. And there's a lot of that going on in the world. You see the dove, which is peace, at the end of a sword. The sword is very, very Arabian looking. It's very, very much like a scimitar. You know, Cindy has seen this. And then this looks so Nazi-ish and, you know, some sort of AK variant. This looks so Gestapo-ish here, the way the soldiers dressed up, very telling in the gas mask as we see buildings destroyed. You know, again, a foreshadowing of times to come. It certainly feels that way. And again, we want to thank you guys that are supporting us over on Patreon. So this is Bobby Kennedy Jr., by the way, as we sleepwalk towards WW3, well, not all of us are sleepwalking. Some of us have been warning people about this for our entire lives, and many have for the last few years now. White House decision-making has devolved to a group of anonymous figures and lanyards who seem to have no grasp on the uses of power. Well, it's because, and he knows, they don't really have any power. I know he knows that the politicians are actors, just like Matthew Perry.
I know, and that is so unfortunate that they use whoever they need to use to get their agenda across. So, you know, if somebody is popular and they can sell them some goods and get them to do something, and when people look up to other people, they admire what they do, well, then they do what they do. And this was unfortunately one of those Hollywood actors that went along with the plan. He went along with the agenda, got a lot of people to do the same. And now, you know, this is, and I don't want to say karma in the sense, well, he got his karma. No, but there's a reaction. There's an action and a reaction. And that's what I mean when I say karma. It's like if you water a plant, it grows. It's a natural reaction. Somebody chooses to do that. Yeah, they're going to get sick. I haven't seen people get well from the cure. That's for sure.
And the thing that we want to focus on this is this. For the first time in history, 100 warships of the Turkish Navy began moving in the Bosphorus Strait. 100 warships of the Turkish Navy. Turkey is no lightweight, as we will see. It is actually one of the strongest military forces in NATO and also in the world. The thing to remember is this is the redistribution of what was the Ottoman Empire's core, is modern-day Turkey. And the Ottoman Empire was vast. It was at its greatest peak, again, maybe 2/3 of the extent of the Roman Empire, which we all know about the Roman Empire. Yeah, you know, again, this is something to take note of. 100 warships going out is not something that's to be taken lightly. And neither is this when you see a tremendous amount of people, hundreds of thousands of people out there listening to Erdogan, who, again, he had his issues. He barely hung on to power. Netanyahu had his issues. We had perhaps 10% of the Israeli population out in the streets to get him out of power. Look what happens when war comes. All of a sudden, their power is secure and consolidated, at least for the moment. So, speaking at a massive pro-Palestinian rally, the president of Turkey, Erdogan, said, "We can come at night unexpectedly." The crowd chanted Turkish military to Gaza. Israel has pulled ambassadors. And again, the Biden administration is being made to look very, very weak, senile, and stupid. The reality is they know exactly what they're doing, because what's to come? Well, it's global jihad is what's to come. That's part of the bigger picture of what World War III actually is. It is global jihad. And again, some will say, well, that myth about 1871 Albert Pike has been debunked. Well, so has CHM trails. So has, the Anunnaki. So has, we could go on with the list of things that have been debunked, but they really haven't. They really haven't. Again, we understand there's professional debunkers out there. That's all they do is try to debunk things professionally. Same thing's been said about Washington's vision, in which it says that the United States is the victim of a massive attack in these times and literally is invaded. And yet there's references to Washington's vision that go back 100 plus years, and it's actually in the Library of Congress. What you're seeing here, this destruction of Gaza, is so purposeful, so orchestrated. It's all about uniting the Islamic world together at this point in time to march, just like Albert Pike said. He said Christianity and Islam must be mutually destroyed. Part of that is the restoration of Israel, who was brought together by who? The Rothschilds, the Balfour Declaration, the UN Charter. Israel was created by a UN charter. The migrant-immigrant situation is under the directive of the UN. Shh.
Don't tell.
Don't tell anybody. And, so many people have put down London has fallen, the West has fallen. And in reality, the world system that we grew up with is falling. But they understand this. This has all been just temporary. It just shifts. Everything shifts. The most power-laden personalities we can imagine are but pawns in the bigger scheme of things. They're nothing but pawns. Your Gil Bates, your POPE, we could go on with Georgie S. You could start naming all these people. They're still nothing but pawns.
Mm-mm. No, I know. And it just goes on. And the more people we can wake up to this, the better off things are going to be. It's the greatest show on earth, and I don't want to pay the ticket to see it anymore.
If you are thinking that it's Barry O that's pulling the strings on Biden, then you are snoring. You're so deep asleep, you still don't have a clue. And this is part of why we're in this situation. It's just the fact that so many people can't let go of certain aspects of the programming, but we need to step outside all these boxes. The farther back away from this we could get, the clearer we can see things. As you see, Islamic terror accounts on Twitter are celebrating that Muslim Hamas supporters overwhelm police and are marching towards the Israeli embassy. It's going to be overwhelming. It is really going to be overwhelming. Pro-Palestine group now arrived at George Washington University in Washington, D.C., where they're getting more agitated. Well, I saw some surveys on Twitter that I don't think I disagree with, showing the vast majority of the public thinks what's happening in Palestine is an atrocity, because it obviously is. And the reality is that we understand that whole terminology about fake banners. Because they use fake banners. They've been done throughout history, and to cause agitation purposefully. But what a lot of people don't know, and they might not be familiar with, is what exactly is Islam? Is it religion of peace. Well, Islam will say it's the culmination of Judaism, Christianity. It's the culmination of the Abrahamic tradition, as we see the preferred manner in which they dispatch of the enemy is, not easy, not nice. And it's one thing with a sword that can go through cleanly and quickly with one quick blow, or a guillotine like they used in France. Never pleasant, not nice. With something this small, you're talking absolute, it's just unthinkable. And yet when we look to the Quran, it is in there, as you're looking at Surah 47:4. So when you meet those who disbelieve, don't believe in Allah in battle, strike their necks until, when you have inflicted slaughter upon them, then secure their bonds and either confer favor afterwards or ransom them until after the war lays down its burdens. That is the command, and if Allah had willed, he could have taken vengeance upon them himself, but he ordered armed struggle to test some of you by means of others. And those who are killed in the cause of Allah, never will he waste their deeds. Yeah, it is the continuation of really the dark aspects of what we see in the Old Testament. This is again Jericho, and so this is Joshua 6. This is verse 20. When the trumpet sounded, and Cindy was getting visions of trumpets. There's a lot of things in this that Cindy was getting visions of from the guides in the last night or two. So when the trumpet sounded, the army shouted, and at the sound of the trumpet, when the men gave a loud shout, the wall collapsed. So everyone charged straight in. This is the Israelites to the then the Canaanites that were living in that area. And again, they say that Yahweh Jehovah gave them this land, but people were living in the land. People were settled there for a long time. They were living, doing their thing, and the Israelites invaded, and they devoted the city to Yahweh and destroyed with the sword every living thing in it, men and women, young and old, cattle, sheep, and donkeys. So that includes babies, that the Israelites did genocide, and according to the Bible, if this is accurate. And many people believe the Bible is inerrant, but it's not. It's full of errors. By the way, the Mahdi. What's the Mahdi? Well, Cindy doesn't see the blade with the split at the end, but she does see a curved blade. Again, it's reminiscent of the Denver airport. Very reminiscent of what has been used in Islam in battle, as you see again, more that are about to lose their heads. This is what happens, and this is part of Jihad. As you see this, Palestinian people are waiting for the Imam Mahdi to set them free from suffering, to, from their perspective, right the world and restore, again, proper leadership to the world. And you have the Christians waiting for Yeshua to do the second coming and to come on a white horse. And you also have some Jews that are still waiting for the Messiah to come and restore Israel properly and build that third temple. Everybody is being played by extraterrestrials is the bottom line. This is just a play by the extraterrestrials. They're toying with humanity. They always do. They always toy with humanity. These people are devoted. And again, the indoctrination into belief systems and also political belief systems happens at a very young age. Remember, children, stand up. I put your hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance. Yeah, we get it. This is all indoctrination. This is all brainwashing, whichever religion we're talking about. Some, again, there's many different branches within each of the religions. And there certainly are people that stay very, very pacifist in all traditions. You have mystics in Islam, the Sufi mystics, whirling dervishes, again. We have in Judaism, of course, we have the study of Kabbalah and the Jewish mysticism, and in Christianity, we did as well, and we have the Gnostic point of view of things, as well as others. Not all are fundamentalist minded, but this is the danger of fundamentalism. There's nothing more dangerous than fundamentalism. There is absolutely nothing more dangerous, whether it's religious or political. So they're waiting for the Imam Mahdi. They're waiting for their savior. They've been given prophecies just like Christians and Jews. And, all of them are kind of waiting for somebody to come on a horse, as you see the black flag of Jihad. Yeah, these faceless beings carrying the flags, riding on horses. It's been prophesied. This is one of the closer representations of what Cindy has seen. Not exactly, but they keep showing her this sword, and they keep showing her holy war. But no war is holy. That's the bottom line. Jihad. And here, again, he's the 12th Imam, which is thought that he's just been in hiding. He's been hidden from the public, but will come out and will unify all the Islamic people in a holy war to usher in, your 1,008 years of peace. There you go. I mean, again, that's in the Bible too. So many Christians are waiting for Jesus to have his 1,000 years of peace. But in reality, what you're going to get is direct rule by the Anunnaki for those that go along with the system. And these Anunnaki are best described as in the Greek mythologies. Why do the gods seem to toy with people? Because it's their personality. It's who they are. They have given us these myths. They have given us these parts of the script. They have us all waiting for our own saviors. Because again, while we're waiting for someone to come and save us, we won't do anything for ourselves, but conform to the death, destruction, and division.
And I think that was the more disturbing aspect of the visions last night. I don't remember fully and completely, but I do remember seeing the Anunnaki and feeling their energy and how they toy with humanity. And it is one of their favorite things to do, is to toy with humans in the sense where they are giving them something to worship. They are brainwashing them so that these humans look up to and worship these Anunnaki gods. And they enjoy that. What they don't enjoy is anyone who steps outside of that realm. They are very leery of people who step outside of that brainwashing box, and there's more respect for them than there are those people who, go to Sunday worship or Saturday worship or whatever. Anybody who's buying into the system, they just toy with them and they enjoy it. And that's just part of them. It's part of who they are. It doesn't do any good to get angry about it because it's natural. It's just an aspect of them. Just like, the leaves turn in the fall. They turn and they fall off of a tree. This is who these Anunnaki beings are. They toy with other living entities, and it's just not something that I want in my life. So I'm working to manifest something different,
which we can do individually, and we need to create that protective zone. Again, we talk more about that on the Heart's Home in more depth, but we have spoken about that on all three channels as well. So they are also looking forward to the return of Yeshua, and I'll put all these links so you guys can see what's spoken of by the Mahdi. And again, there's different doctrines in there. According to Twelver Shia doctrine, he is the current Imam and the promised Mahdi, a messianic figure who will return with the prophet Isa, Jesus. He will reestablish the righteous government of Islam and establish justice and peace on the whole world. And, it's again, these prophecies are given purposefully to keep us divided, to keep us in conflict, And they are given to us by that control structure, the real control structure. So when you look at, what does it mean if Turkey does go and directly attacks Israel or becomes part of this fight? On this globalfirepower.com ranking system, they're ranked 11th as far as most powerful militaries. Israel's 18th, 10 times the population. So, and they do have a very, very up-to-date, significant military, mostly furnished by the U.S., but also they've been buying from Russia in recent times as well. So, obviously this is a big thing, but this is not where it's going to stop. It's going to unify the Islamic world. This is part of that prophecy. The other thing to recognize is these signs that are out there, all these sightings. I mean, just to talk about UAPs and UFOs, they are again getting the population a little used to this. As you see, this is supposedly up on the border of Iran and Pakistan, and they're shooting like crazy, supposedly after this orb, UFO, whatever it is. I don't know if this is real or not. This is the channel it came from, and UFO Mania, and it certainly is curious, but it just gives you a feeling of exactly what Cindy was talking about. They like to literally toy with us, and their ships will morph, and they could turn their ships into looking like a dragon in the sky if they want to. Again, these beings are far ahead of us in technology. So they do toy with humanity. Again, look to your Greek mythology. And these bloodlines that they leave behind to run the show, in some ages as kings and queens, and other ages as politicians, prime ministers, presidents, and in this age, in the age shortly to come, CEOs. It's all the same thing.
Right. And, just we have to create something different. That's the only thing I have to say. You have to want it. You have to want to be outside of the system. Our health is so critical. It is so important that we get our health in order and not need the external processes of the system that's out there. And that's definitely concerning, because there's so many good people out there who are dependent on the healthcare system now. And they have to go back for certain procedures. And that's something that really haunts me. It really bothers me, things like that. But in my own situation, I too was told I was going to need a doctor or doctors to do these processes for the rest of my life. And as I get healthier and as I get better, I'm realizing, no, I don't have to go back and do certain things that they told me I would have to do. Otherwise, I would die. Not everybody is in my position. I've done my own, all of my own research. I've done my own thing. But we all have to decide that on an individual basis. I absolutely cannot tell anyone what to do with their medical life, but that's what I did with mine. I didn't want to be involved with the medical system, so I backed out slowly. It took me years. I mean, it probably, it's been at least 5 years backing out of the medical system. I took my time, sometimes just by crumbs a day, doing what I did. But I did it, and I know that other people can do it too. But you have to want it.
You absolutely have to want it. The other thing that Cindy saw and has been having visions of is the bear. And the bear that she saw now this time, when I saw this reminded me of what she had seen and what I've been telling you guys, how I feel it really is, like with the whole Ukraine-Russian thing. Russia stalled there on purpose. They stalled there on purpose because they show Cindy the bear looking very strong and very hungry, and the bear is getting ready to move. And so that's all been a ruse too. That's all been about depleting the West, depleting NATO, depleting the U.S. Of military equipment and rearmament, because they are getting ready to move. And the bear, along with the dragon, will be on U.S. soil within a year from what we have gotten. And in reality, shoot, we're almost in November. It won't be long before they're actually on our soil. And so, this is very much, they've given us the prophecy of Babylon the Great, and the USA and the NATO nations are Babylon the Great. The USA primarily, but I would say the USA and UK primarily, because again, you could look at those prophecies and see how clearly they are related to this. But they did show her the bear, and that the bear is ready to move.
And I think in so many ways too, they are already here. Just look at the migrants. I think they're embedded already. So it's just a matter of, are they going to show themselves in common form or not?
Yeah, they're waiting for their cue, and when will that cue go off? I mean, it could be at any time. I think the latest it would go off is April. That's just what it feels like to me, but it could happen now, today, tomorrow. It could be at any particular time. There were 2 mass shootings, one in Chicago, by the way, and one down in Tampa. I think in both cases, 2 people lost lives, but like 15 to 17 people were shot in both of those situations. When they turn those cells on, it's going to be a lot more chaotic than that, because again, how many people are illegally inside our borders? Tens of millions. Literally tens of millions. Even if it's just a small fraction of that are true sleeper cells, that are people that are going to take arm and start to work to take over the country internally, when China and Russia, along with North Korea, Iran, and many other nations, go externally. It's going to be just chaos. So again, you have to create your own personal protective space. How do you do that? You would say, again, get out of the way of danger as much as possible. So again, the worst places to be are the biggest cities. That's by far the worst places to be. But even in the countryside, there's still going to be dangerous pockets. Are you near military targets? Are you near significant energy targets? Places where rearmaments would go through. Is there, train tracks right next to you? Is there a highway right next to you? All these type of things are things to keep in mind. Just look to Gaza, because what's going on in Gaza now, they plan on bringing out to the major cities around the globe, but especially the NATO cities. So say your prayers, put out your positive intentions. We strongly recommend Vedic mantras, because those mantras are connecting us to beings in the golden age that we are led by and guided by. So very, very positive energies, positive frequencies. Again, you can create your own protective space. It does take some work, take some effort, and you got to be consistent.
Right. I never like to tell anybody, oh, you're just in dire straits if you're in a big city. No, that's absolutely not true. There's ways you can go within, and there's ways to talk to your angels, your guides, your higher self for a safe passage wherever you need to go, wherever you want to go, or create that energy around you that's of a safe type of environment for yourself. So, do your best, have those conversations with guides, angels, ancestors, because that really works. I can't tell people enough how much they listen to you if you talk to them. There's so many guides and angels, ancestors that are sidelined because people simply think, oh, they're not there. Yes, they are there. I promise you they are there, but we have to put forth the effort to contact.
Yeah, the benevolent beings respect free will. The malevolent ones don't. It's just that simple. So, but I would also interject that ultimately what we see in the future is we really don't see free humanity inside cities.
Not inside cities.
No, free humanity will not reside inside cities in the future. The cities are going to be reserved for those that are in the system and that become part of the collective, the Borg AI collective. But do you have time to get out? Yeah, and even the ones that are in the cities in the future, the guides have said if their will was strong enough, though, they have a much more uphill battle than we do at this current moment, they still could work to get themselves free of their situation. Even after, they've had the full mark of the beast implementation, if you know what I mean. You could still, if the true desire is there for freedom, you can manifest it, but it will be a much more uphill battle at that time.
Right, but the human soul is very powerful.
Absolutely. As always, guys, thanks for your support. Much love. Source bless and namaste.
Namaste.